What's up, fight fans? Greetings from the Wrestleverse. It's your host, Billy here.
And this is T-John.
And it's time to take it to the
To the
ring.
ring.
Hey, fight fans. So we have a great episode of WWE Raw we're going to be reviewing today. What do you think of this episode,
so this
man?
one was live from Ohio. Raw came out with another fantastic performance, of course, man. It's all leading up to Royal Rumble. We're now 4 days away. Finally.
I know, man. I'm getting pumped. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so honestly, if I'm being perfectly honest, I was ready to already scrap this because I'm ready. They built it up so much. But, I mean, honestly, there were still some really exciting matches. They still did what they had to do, still building up that momentum to that very last day, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, we got to see some Damien Priest, KO beef. We got to see Austin Theory and AJ Styles just go absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
but we'll get right into it. So the night starts with Adam Pearce right in the center of the ring with the big scale for the big weigh-in with Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, man. And it was a pretty it was a real kind of tense time in that ring. First off, how strong does Bobby Lashley look, man? Like, I didn't think he could look more cut, but he's definitely still prepping for, him and Brock Lesnar's showdown on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, man. They did a little promo in the beginning of it, showed him working out, had these huge chains around him. The guy is looking fantastic. He is in fighting shape for sure.
Definitely. And, Brock Lesnar really wasn't taking it seriously still. He seems to really be, like, on cloud nine still, really cocky. He has that swagger. He didn't even undress for the weigh-in. He was just like, come on, let's get it over with.
Did you see Adam Pearce try to announce Brock? And he's like, no. Paul Heyman, he comes out. He's like, no, we're ending this. I'm tired of people stealing my shtick. Nobody announces for Brock Lesnar other than me. And he gives him a proper entrance. It was pretty
agree,
cool.
though. Paul Heyman got it, man. If anybody's going to introduce Brock Lesnar or anybody, shoot, if I had to pick somebody to introduce me in my daily life, it'd be Paul Heyman. You know what I mean?
It'd be a great entrance everywhere you go. You can walk into Chili's.
Exactly. But
and then Brock, like you said, he comes out, man. He's just looking like a clown, man. He is a clown. I love it.
Yeah, like he's just like, he just has this kind of confidence about him. I mean, it's well earned. I mean, he has this ridiculous resume of all these championships. So it's just like, who can beat me? Like, somebody's gonna have to prove to him that he can be beat. But Lashley really took that kind of like as an insult. You can tell he was getting really annoyed because he was like, like, you need to take me seriously. And even told him, he vowed that this was going to be his shortest title reign in his career. And that's some strong words.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What, he ended up winning Bobby Lashley's 277? Yeah. It's a stout guy. And then Brock Lesnar, he came in at 286, but he didn't take any of his extra clothes off. He took his hat off, I guess.
Yeah, after Corey Graves kind of had to push for him to do something, but he wasn't trying to hear any of it.
Oh, it was great. What about the little joke he did right at the end? Brock Lesnar, he's like, oh, I can see it now. Bobby Lashley beats Brock Lesnar in the Hurt Locker. And the winner and the new champion is Bobby who?
Yeah. Well, that just reminded me of, remember last week when they kind of faced off and they did like the knock and it was like Bobby who? And he was like, exactly. Like,
it was great, man. I cracked up. And then he just has this like crazy kind of grin, smile, looks like a sociopath, and just walks off.
I mean, but that's the thing, because he's just trying to get under Bobby Lashley's skin, but he doesn't realize that, the more angry you make Bobby Lashley, the more dangerous he becomes. I think that we may see an upset, or at least he's going to start putting some respect on Bobby Lashley's name after this fight.
Oh, Brock Lesnar is in Bobby's head, man, for sure.
Definitely.
So
you can see it.
Yeah, but the next fight card of the night, we had Bianca and Belair versus Queen Zelina.
Yeah. And Queen Zelina was really competitive in this fight, but I gotta give it to Bianca Belair, man. She's just way too strong, way too athletic. It was a really, really good showing for the both of them, but definitely for Bianca Belair.
Oh, yeah. Belair comes out first, and she has her great entrance, whipping the hair. The crowd loves her, man.
Yeah, definitely a fan favorite.
But, even though Zelina's the queen, she kind of got a couple boos, and she came out next. She had the belt and the crown, just looking great. But I heard some boos. I was kind of surprised.
I mean, when you're going against somebody who everybody loves, like Bianca Belair, you're gonna get some boos, man. Like that's just a given.
Dude, Belair just came out hard and fast from the start. So, picked up Zelina like she was nothing. Just tossed her outside of the ring.
Yeah, like she was just like Queen Zelina. Like I said, she did a lot of pretty good things. Like she slipped out of a KOD in the early parts of the match. She locked up a pretty good headlock. She put up a really good fight, but man, there was nothing that really allowed her to take complete control of the fight or put Bianca Belair out.
Yeah, there was a couple really good counters there, but Belair just showed off, man. She did one snap German suplex and then right into a suspended suplex. It's just really fancy stuff, man. She showed out.
Yeah, definitely. But so the match started coming to an end after Zelina actually put her in that code red, but Belair stopped it and then countered it with her KOD finisher. And oh man, that joint was devastating. Watching her bounce off the ring like that, it was over.
She hit hard, man, and it was a great counter too. I think Zelina was just way too small to set in that code breaker or code red.
No, yeah, I definitely
couldn't handle
agree. It kind of. I mean, it's just a momentum builder for Bianca Belair. She was able to really show off her skills and what she can bring to the table. And, she's looking to win that Royal Rumble once again, like she has in the past. So I think that this was just a really good way for her to get that confidence, remind herself who she is and what she's trying to do on Saturday.
Oh, I agree, man. It was definitely kind of a warm-up match for her. Yeah, then we go right after that, you see KO backstage. He's getting interviewed by Kevin Barnin or something like that, the guy with the English accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he kind of started to imply that KO kind of cheated last week, faking the injury, and KO just got really offended and was like, "Oh, read the shirt, read the shirt, keep fighting."
We all saw what happened last week.
Yeah,
he somehow, like we said last week, he somehow convinced Damien Priest to keep his alter ego away and have a clean fight. And then, one off a dirty move, he was not hurt. He can say that he pushed through, but he was walking fine. There was nothing wrong with him. So, that was just he did what he normally does to win matches that he clearly is going to lose. So, you can only expect what you can expect. But, Damien Priest wasn't having any of that this time. He came in ready.
Yeah. So that's the next fight. We actually get to see them go at it again. And I think he made a very good point. Priest, he came out ready for revenge after last week. And KO is just showing us and proving to us what type of fighter he is. He has to play games just as much as a fighter.
Higher this time just because his title was on line. This was a fight for the United States Championship. And how crazy would that be if he lost it right before Royal Rumble? That would be insane. But
it was a pretty good match, but it was kind of quick too. There was a mean back elbow from KO, and then he sets in his nice little senton, and then but Priest ended up stopping that big cannonball outside of the ring. Did you see that, man?
He was anticipating a lot of Kevin Owens moves this time. I saw a lot of good stuff. When he tried to do a senton off the apron, and then Damien put his knees up real quick, just broke his back right then and there. It was crazy.
Yeah, he saw it coming, was waiting for it. I think he was kind of playing possum on the floor. It's where's he at? He's going to come do it.
Yeah.
And he ate every bit of both those knees.
Oh, yeah.
And then, dude, just like, Priest showed up. He kind of, that alter ego came out.
Oh, Damien came out, but that happened because Kevin Owens tried to do the same thing he did last week. You know, he was holding his arm, you know, tried to get a break, had the ref try to step in, and that just set him off. Like, you could, like, he was just kicking him. It was like, come on, like, don't do this now. And after a minute, like, Damien took over, and oh my God, the beating that he put on Kevin Owens into the corner. Like, did you see, like, the ref trying to stop him, like, trying to shield Kevin Owens? He's just beating him over him. Like, wow.
Yeah, he just, like, he was beating the crap out of him. I think the ref counted out. He got to about 4. Priest backed off. He went back in, backed off. I think 3 or 4 times before the ref was finally like, "That's enough, man. Give him a break."
The ref was trying to keep the fight going, but Priest was too far gone, you know. So it was for the safety of Kevin Owens, that the fight was stopped. But, you know, at least, although it was a DQ, that is another loss to Kevin Owens, and I know that hurts for Damian Priest because that's the second time he's lost. And crazy enough, Kevin Owens is the first one to pin Damien for a loss. But, you know, at least Damian Priest gets to keep his title, and he didn't lose it that way, but he really has to work on his attitude, man. He has to work on that.
I mean, Priest walked away stomping up the ramp, kind of pissed off at himself. Yeah. But KO walked away just hurting. Yeah, look at that picture, man. That was after the match. He's just crying. He's like, oh.
Yeah. So maybe he was a little hurt, but I still think he was milking it. I don't think he wanted to get that beat down, especially right before Royal Rumble. You don't want to walk into that already hurt.
Yeah, right.
That's a
good point.
Bad time.
I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What do you think of that great 6-woman tag team match that came up next?
I loved it. You know, we had Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Dana Brooke going against Nikki ASH, Carmella, and Tamina. And in my opinion, Rhea Ripley stole the show. Like, man, Rhea Ripley, as soon as, like, you know, she's angry. And she has every right to be angry off of, like, the past few weeks. Every time she steps in the ring, Nikki ASH is there to hit her with some kind of sneak move and put a beating on her. And so I think she has a lot of hurt and a lot of anger, and you can see it, especially since Nikki was on the other side for the first time.
It was so weird seeing Nikki with, like, Carmella in the same corner. They both had, like, the mask was kind of funny, but it was so odd seeing them in the same corner on the same team. And Rhea Ripley is just a beast, man. The last woman you want to piss off, man.
Yeah, and you know that's exactly what that did. Like, seeing them together, I know that was just infuriating for Rhea Ripley. And, like, I mean, she tore into everybody. Look at that. Like, I've never seen that kind of hold before. She, like, did some kind of inverted figure 4 with, like, a headlock twist to it.
Yeah. With her arms, and it was almost like a deadlift. She, like, picked her up and held her into it. It was bad.
Yeah, there was nothing that she could do but tap. Like, she wasn't even trying to let go after the tap. But yeah, Rhea Ripley was on a rampage, ready to just destroy everybody.
And then Ash pulled the same thing, man. She attacked her afterwards, and dude, she's ready. She's looking like she's ready for blood.
Oh man, well, you know we're gonna see them both in the Royal Rumble and the Women's Royal Rumble as well. So I'm counting on them meeting each other for the first time that way. But I want a legit one-on-one. I need them to fight and get that.
So you read my mind, man. I was just going to say it'd be really neat if Rhea Ripley went into this real tactical and just started cleaning house, dumping everybody out until it got down to just the two of them. And they go at it, man. That'd be great. I'd love to see
that in a perfect world. But given Nikki ASH's whole thing that she's been doing, I can just see Rhea Ripley, like, clearing house, kind of like she did last year. But then Nikki is gonna throw her over at some point in, like, some sneaky, dirty way.
Yeah,
I can see that happening already.
God forbid Belair gets her hands on her.
Oh man, that's gonna be fun to watch too. Because I have Belair. I think Belair's gonna win it.
I'm with you, man. Spoiler.
I'm gonna save that for later though.
Right.
We'll get into that later.
So what did you think of the academic challenge with Chad and Otis and the RK Bro and that kind of whole thing that they tried to do, that shtick?
It was cool. It was interesting. I didn't, like I said last week, I wasn't really sure how they were going to make it work, especially how it would be entertaining. And they they were able to do it. So, you know, of course, RK Bro are the favorites. You know, that's a given. And so they, wow, I don't know what happened there. Alpha Academy just comes out to a bunch of boos. And of course, Chad Gable doesn't help the situation by insulting the crowd, talking about how he has that 4.0 GPA and all that, really talking about his intelligence level. And it was absolutely hilarious how the challenge really turned out. And I mean, it was a humbling experience for Gable for sure.
Yeah. So, well, we hear that Otis is officially a part of the Royal Rumble. So that's pretty cool. That was some cool news. Getting to see that. But man, Chad is just looking great, man. He is in fantastic shape. I think it's awesome, despite that he was just roasting that crowd so hard. You know, it was great to see him out there, and I love seeing more of him.
Definitely. But it was the highlight of that event or that match to me, that little challenge, was the fact that everybody got their words right. Because, you know, it was a spelling contest. Right. And so everybody, even Otis and Riddle were able to get their answers right. And just Chad Gable being so confident and cocky, he didn't even let the announcer explain what the word was, didn't let him do the definition. And because of that, he actually didn't get the word right.
Yeah,
Mr. It was 4.0 so funny. Himself.
And he tried to blame the host's accent. It's like, no, you gave me the wrong word. It's a spelling challenge, man. Just spell the word.
Exactly. And
Riddle cracked me up, though, man.
Didn't take too kindly to that. He was just getting more and more annoyed with his mouth. So he challenged him to a one-on-one right then and there to shut him up once and for all.
And that's what we get to see is Orton versus Chad Gable.
Yeah, man.
And it was a pretty good match, man. Yeah, Chad was really working him.
Chad showed out. Don't get me wrong. Chad is in a great shape and is an impressive wrestler. You know, he's a very technical fighter. He knows what to do, and we could see it that whole fight. He really gave Randy Orton some trouble.
And not only that, he really did kind of prove he's a smart wrestler. He was able to slip away from the RKO a couple times, and then really pushing Orton outside of the ring. And I don't think Randy was ready for it, man. I don't think he was going to put up that much of a fight.
I don't think so either, just because, I mean, everybody knows that Chad Gable's a good wrestler, but with Otis, they're a different beast. So everybody is more so focused on him, on Otis. And so I think Randy Orton expected him to do a quick little beat down on Chad Gable, and he got a rude awakening. Awakening.
That one point, though, Gable ended up sitting in the corner, and he was just eating a buffet of uppercuts, man. Orton was just beating the crap out of him in the corner. Yeah. Look at that shot. It's caught him right on the chin maybe 3 or 4 times, and he was dazed after that, man.
I mean, Chad had to get out for a second and, get his head straight. He had to, get some words of encouragement from Otis. He had to regroup for a little bit. But, man, what a moonsault that he performed on Orton, too. On that comeback.
It was picture perfect, man. It was beautiful. It was so well placed. It almost looked like it was an Olympic gymnast.
No, yeah, but that's just speaking to Gable's technique, man. He's a very technical fighter, so when you see him do a move, more than likely he knows what he's doing. He's not really an improver. He's not gonna just make moves out on the fly. He's very calculated.
Yeah, everything has been done 100 times, and he does it perfectly.
Exactly.
But then what? It was about halfway, maybe about 3/4 away through the match. Orton woke up, man. He got his second win and just started coming back. He's like, I'm through playing games. Nailed that nasty backbreaker, just spinning him around like a rag doll, man.
Yeah, Randy Orton had to remind himself who he was that fight. Definitely.
And then the crowd, dude, go nuts. We want to see RKO. RKO.
Man. We were
going
waiting.
crazy.
He promised the crowd. He promised it. He was like, I'm going to end you with that RKO. So I know that was the last thing that Chad Gable wanted to happen to him. Yeah.
But I mean, Chad, he still came back, ended up getting that really nice ankle lock, just working Orton, and he was hurting.
Oh, definitely. But then what happened? There was so much that happened there.
Dude, there really was. Dude, what cracked me up
had
was
their own thing going on in like the corner there. Like,
did
you see how Riddle actually attacked Otis? Otis threw him around like a rag doll, and then Riddle comes back with a scooter and beats the brakes off of Otis with it.
Which is just so funny, seeing a grown man with a scooter that just had this look of pure rage beating the hell off of him.
It was so crazy, and it was just like, of course, if anybody's gonna do that, though, it will be Riddle. Like, he needed something, and I mean, he beat the crap out of it. Like, wow.
I'm sure he's feeling it today, man.
Oh, definitely.
But of course, you know, you got Randy Orton finishing it off, RKO. Taking the win. We all saw it coming. He delivered, gave the crowd what they wanted, and I was happy.
I'm very happy that he finally did too, because it was like, finally, yes.
Yeah.
Hit him with it. And of course, Gable couldn't recover. So that was it. And then Riddle actually took the mic and let everybody know what the next challenge is going to be. Yeah. And that's going to be a scooter race. And nobody looks excited about it but Riddle.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
Randy's. I think
to see how Otis will look on a scooter.
Right. Well, he's going to have to get an extra like plus size scooter or something like that. I don't think they even
make them. They're going to have to like make one for him.
Like, or he's just going to fall and to get DQ'd. That's going to be pretty funny.
More than likely, I think that it was a real calculated move, but I don't even think that Riddle knew what he was doing. I think that, you know, he was just going with the flow as
he made it up on the spot, man.
And it worked out though. It worked out for sure.
And like Orton just kind of looks like he's used to his shenanigans. He just kind of rolls it off. He's like, all right, whatever. Come on, little buddy, let's go.
Right, exactly. And then you had, what about that whole thing with Vince McMahon and Austin Theory again? You know, meeting backstage. And he kind of tried to like negotiate getting a later spot in the Royal Rumble, because you know Austin Theory is going to be in the Royal Rumble as well. And Vince McMahon was really like annoyed at that request, and then told him, guess who you're facing one-on-one tonight? AJ Styles, man. And you better come back with a good selfie.
Yeah, a decent one. I want a quality one this time.
Oh,
so
man.
I was a bit torn. It's like, did he give him this match to punish him? Or is it just him making his way, Austin Theory making his way up through the ranks?
I think it was because, you know, about 2 weeks ago, AJ Styles and Austin Theory actually had a match. And then Grayson Waller came out of nowhere and, you know, interfered with it. And that was the end of that. So I think that Vince McMahon was like, you got saved because you were about to lose, but we don't lose here. So you need to go back out there and prove yourself.
That's right. I forgot about that match. That was some silly nonsense. It kind of made me not like Waller a little bit more. But anyway, I digress. So first up, that's what we get to see. That's the next fight card. We get to see AJ Styles versus Austin Theory. And AJ comes out first, man, hyping the crowd up. Great entrance, as always. I mean, Styles in his name.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of cool because we see a lot of similarities between him and Austin Theory. He kind of reminds us of a young AJ Styles a little bit with that swagger. That cockiness, the showmanship that he has in the ring. Like, and then, you know, even the moves, you know, like, the moves are different, but man, like the way that they perform is amazing.
So this was my favorite match of the night. I thought it was fantastic. It starts off with like that big, massive kick from AJ Styles, just like cleaning house. Spit came flying out of Austin Theory's mouth. But you know, Theory showed up, man.
Oh yeah. And then that what was it? That takedown like outside the ring where he like dove out, like, oh man.
AJ was showing up, man.
It was intense. The whole fight was intense. And then, like, don't get me wrong, Austin Theory was like giving him work the whole fight too. Like,
it was great. So there was like this one suplex right into a neck breaker.
Yeah.
It was great. And then Austin did like this belly to back suplex. And he did this other, like, he like rolled into a block bucket. Man, he just really showed us what he could do, man. I was impressed.
I was thoroughly impressed. But I was just happy to see AJ Styles really like come back from it all. It really could have gone either way. So I was very surprised that AJ Styles was able to reach in the tank. I feel like it was that experience, that cardio, you know, he's been in longer, and that finally was able to like bring that out because he finally hit Austin Theory with that phenomenal forearm. Never seen him get that high.
Yeah.
Like,
well, just before that, did you see him like kind of slip? And Austin was like on him real quick. So he's like, no. I think it was just as much heart and pride that kept AJ Styles in it and made him come back with that second win. It's like, I'm not going to lose to this rookie who really showed us he's anything but. For his time, he showed skill, he showed determination and resourcefulness and a lot of experience for his age.
No, I definitely agree. I don't count this as a real loss for Austin Theory.
I agree.
Other than on stats, like, Austin Theory proved himself. I know Vince McMahon isn't going to see it that way, and we can be sure that he's going to make Theory pay. But, man, he really proved himself out there going against a legend, a dog like AJ Styles. And taking him to town the way that he did and putting up that good of a fight to the point where he was close. He was this close to winning several times.
Yeah.
Just being able to do that is remarkable in itself. So I'm actually more of a fan of Austin Theory after this. Lose the gimmick. Let me be let me be happy to see you. You know?
So we were talking about that last week, and if he just drops that selfie stuff, man, but he's an up-and-comer, and we got to give him a chance. And I'm really glad I kind of took a step back to give this guy a chance because he's fantastic. I'm impressed with him.
I do agree. Me too. But then we had, you know, a little behind-the-scenes action. We got to see Doudrop and Becky Lynch kind of start jawing off at each other before their fight out on Saturday.
It was just more of the same drama, the little tick for attack. And then at one point, I don't remember what Becky said. She kind of said something, and it's like, mind your business or something like that, or really put Doudrop down.
She was trying to humble her the whole time. Like, that was really all she wanted to do. She wanted, as we've seen her do since kind of guiding Doudrop's win, all she said is how she's paved the way to give Doudrop this opportunity and how she needs to be thankful because she wouldn't be in this spot without Becky Lynch. And it's really getting under Doudrop's skin because, I mean, Doudrop is a fantastic wrestler. We see it time in and time out. Every single time she steps in that ring, she's putting on a great performance and beating these people. But you know, she just needs to prove that to Becky Lynch. That's the person that she really needs to show this to, you know?
Yeah, and Becky, she never misses an opportunity to try to put someone down and lift herself up. I think it's a little bit of that mental game she tries to play. But Doudrop had enough, man. She just like stood up. You see her leave the camera. She came back. All of a sudden, the two of them were facing off, and they started beating the crap out of each other backstage. Ton of officials. It all gets broken up. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, that just shows how much animosity is like really there between the two. So I'm expecting a fantastic match between these two. Like, there's so much anger with Doudrop, and I feel like Becky Lynch is truly insulted at the fact that Doudrop isn't more humble about getting this opportunity against somebody like Big Time Bex. But I mean, we're just gonna have to see how this really turns out. I just know that it's gonna be a real fight, like a real.
Either way that match goes, there should be some mutual respect afterwards.
Oh, I doubt that.
There should.
It should be, but man, like knowing these two, like their personalities and the way they feel about each other, they're probably not gonna respect each other until they're like in their 60s, 70s, and it's like way past. Like they're gonna hold this exact moment over each other's heads for a long time.
Maybe it's a UK thing.
Yeah, I may be.
But the next fight card of the night, we get to see the Street Profits come out, and they're going up against the Mysterios again. You know, another matchup.
And but they were teammates last week too. You know, they were all on the same team last week, which was really cool. So seeing them go against each other was you know, it wasn't surprising, but it was a little confusing. But I really liked the fight. It was an impressive fight.
No, I was excited. I thought it was cool. Yeah, they were teams last week. They were in the same ring, but why not? They're tag teams. Let's go up. You can have friendly competition. And it was a fun match to watch, you know?
Yeah, I think that's all it really was. It was just like a fun match to watch, but what a match to see, in my opinion. Like, there's not a lot of tag teams that can match that athleticism and like that high-flying stuff that the Mysterios bring in the ring every time that they step in. But the Street Profits do that, man. And I am a big fan of Montez Ford. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, he gets so much air. But, you know, Dominic, he's really coming up into his own. He did that nice little Suiciana. I think that's how you say it. I always say it wrong. But diving in between the ropes and in between his dad's leg, just taking Dawkins out.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
I still think what I said last week holds true, man. He's gonna be the next Mysterio that like takes over his father's legacy, and I think Rey Mysterio is really starting to see that. And you can tell every time like they step in the ring, you can hear when they're talking to each other backstage. He's really grooming him to take his place, and like it's gonna happen. I'm 100% sold that is exactly what we can expect in the future.
Yeah, it was funny you say backstage. They were kind of getting interviewed, and right at the very end, Dominic's like, "Oh yeah, you taught me a good lesson last week. Tossed me out of the ring. You know, you're gonna be the first one I toss out of the ring." Talking to his dad, he's like, "Oh no, you're just joking, right?" And Dominic walks off. Ray's like, he's just a kid. He's joking. Mijo.
No, I expect it. I definitely expect that to happen.
It was funny. It made me laugh. But Ford was showing out, man.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. What about that? Yeah, like that Superman pose that he did flying out. I mean, he was in the air so long. Like all that the Mysterios could do was just like watch this dude come at them. Like, I mean, I was just in awe myself watching this man fly out the ring. Look at the hurt, man.
That's it was ridiculous. So hard to get that picture because he came flying out so fast, and I wanted to make sure to get that Superman because it was totally worth it. It was an amazing kind of move and speed and power.
If there's anybody that can match that high flying stuff that we know the Mysterios bring, it's Montez Ford. And even Angelo Dawkins has a little bit, but he's just bigger, so he can't get that high. But he does a lot of cool stuff too, and is really athletic for his size.
Yeah, it was definitely a good match. But what about like right at the very end, the Street Profits? They kind of do this little tick for tack. I think it was Dantes that tossed Ford out of the ring, kind of getting ready for the Royal Rumble.
What happened was who was it? Dominic tried to throw Rey Mysterio out. Mysterio counters it. You know, Rey Mysterio just is known for his crazy countering ability. So he was able to like make his son fall out again. But then he fell because of Montez Ford. And then Angelo Dawkins comes out of nowhere and knocks him out of the ring.
Yeah, it was funny. Well, Rey ended up winning that match with a great counter. That was fantastic. I think it was like coming out of a power slam, set right into a roll up. That was an amazing win.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't even ready for that. You know, like it was just an incredible move. And once he was stuck in it, that was it.
Yeah,
that was the pin.
He was sitting down on him. But then you got the Dirty Dogs. They come out. after the match too, and they throw the Street Profits out of the ring. So it's just more hype for Royal Rumble, and it just got me even more excited.
How all four of them have just this genuine hate for the Dirty Dogs in general, because then you just saw them all team up again and just beat the crap out of them and throw them out of the ring. Like, don't ever get involved in our stuff again. You know,
it's fun,
you guys
man.
Are over here.
It was a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Then you got to see Seth Rollins backstage. You know, he's just running his mouth like usual, but talking the truth.
Yeah, man, exactly. I'm so ready for this match. I want to see him and Reigns finally scrap. He's clearly in the head of the champ, and he's just like making it so that he's more and more in his head. You know, we haven't seen Roman Reigns give a real interview, hasn't seen him talk about it, and Rollins is just getting all the screen time, and Roman Reigns is watching. He can't help but to watch.
Oh yeah.
So this is just making him more and more angry, more worried about what Seth Rollins really has in store for the match. He's just going to be off his game. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think you called it, man. I'd like to disagree with you, but I think you're 100% spot on, man. He's just been doing nothing but kind of messing with his head and and the Usos, the whole bloodline, man. He's kind of just running up and down.
The reason why, like, we see that bloodline kind of start dismantling a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think that it might be a good thing. But we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out.
So what do you think of this big Maurice birthday event at the very end of the episode?
I think it was a funny way to end off the event for real.
Ton of stuff in the ring, man. All the photos. And
that's what I was about to say. You have to give the Miz the credit where credit is due. This man can give good. He's a good party planner, and he's good at giving gifts. Like,
he's good at spending money, it looks like.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the key to being a good event planner. We know that. You know? But I mean, he did it in style, and it was actually kind of cool to watch. Of course, the fans were like a little like iffy about it, but he did get some people to like stand and sing happy birthday to him. The one thing I really didn't like, though, and I'm sure nobody liked, was when they showed the brick. They made like this whole big build-up thinking that the Edge and Beth were in that big box, and it just was a table with the brick that he hit Beth with.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be a present, which was kind of funny, but I really was hoping someone would jump out. But it was lame and funny at the same time.
Predictable. But we did get to see Edge and Beth's still come out, and the Miz hired so much security to make sure that they didn't ruin this celebration, and they did not care. I mean, dismantled every single security guard that was there.
It was like a scene in an action movie of the two of them going down a hallway, just throwing security guards and slamming guys down and moving on.
Yeah,
it was
like
fantastic.
They were kids. It was like, it was such a waste of money from the Miz, but it was absolute mayhem in there. And then when they get to the ring and they're just destroying everything, still taking out security guards left and right.
Yeah,
and then
it was like a superhero montage or something.
Power bomb right into Maurice's cape.
I loved it. There was like a guard there the whole time trying to protect it, like, no, and you hear the Miz like, no, not the cake, not the cake.
You know,
and just picks him up and slams the dude into it.
Yeah, those kind of cakes are that probably cost something. Probably was up there with one of the more expensive things up there. So I'm sure he was furious off of that.
I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. And you called it, man. Last week you said Ed was going to show up, and man, he did.
Yeah,
it was fun.
There was no way after that incident with the brick. I'm just surprised that Edge didn't come after them himself, because that's what I was really expecting.
Yeah.
Well, but
we'll see what happens Saturday.
Yeah. Oh man, Saturday's gonna be awesome. I'm so ready for it. It's too electric. There's too much tension. There's so much bad blood between these matchups. It's gonna be amazing, guaranteed. But here on Take It to the Ring, you know, we like to rate events on a scale of 1 to 5. So 5 stars being fight forever.
Yep.
4
and
stars,
then you got 4.
This is awesome. 3 stars, you still got it. 2 stars being what? And 1 star, boring. Like, you might as well just watch us. Like, yeah, we'll make it more entertaining
for sure.
But I'm really comfortable giving this fight 3 stars.
Yeah, I went into this kind of seeing a lot of the fights leading up to it, and went into it kind of thinking it was going to be pretty boring. A lot of the same repeat matches, a little bit more of the same from the last 3 weeks. But I'll tell you what made it a really, really good episode was the AJ Styles and Austin Theory match. That was fantastic, man.
I 100% agree. That was my favorite match. I think that was everybody's favorite match. I think we're expecting kind of a filler episode just to like get us through to Saturday, give the fighters a break. And the promotion said, no, that is not what we're doing. That's not what we're about. And man, they put on a great show. I just think that they did take a little step back compared to their last few weeks and their performances that they did, but this was still a highly entertaining fight, and it had no negatives to it.
And exactly, that's why I find it very hard to try to give it like a low rating like that, because a lot of the matches were really good. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, same. I'm very happy with how it went. And I am 100% invested, as I've been for the past few weeks now, on how Royal Rumble's going to go. Like, this has to be a 5-star event. I'm going to be so disappointed if it's not a 5-star event.
Oh, it has to be. How can it not, man? You're going to see 60 wrestlers fighting.
Yeah, it's too good. It's way too good, and I cannot wait for it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You're amazing. If you like what you see here, please take a moment to leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, of course. And make sure you check out our sweet merch. There's a couple links down there. Ladies, there's some awesome stuff for you as well. And until next time, Billy here.
And this is T-John.
And don't stop believing.